Good morning, thriving warriors and those who wish they were. Alexa, what is the date?
Today is Sunday, October 16th.
Great. And Alexa, what is the time?
The time is 6:36 a.m. Hope you're having a good weekend, Edward.
So far I am. I feel blessed. Now, Alexa, what is the weather forecast?
Currently, in Amargosa Valley, it's 54 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies. Today, you can expect lots of sun with a high of 84 degrees and a low of 49 degrees.
Wow. High of 84, new low record. So we're going down, people. Okay, here we are at Amargosa Valley at the Oasis. And where is our morning podcast information? Okay, looks like I have to update my Google Chrome. Okay, good morning, good morning. Here we go. Our goal is this is the Career Services Department, and our goal is to help you get from point A to point B, where point B is better, right? How do we do that? Okay, well, we do it in many ways. One is this podcast. And in the podcast, see in the description below, please subscribe, click on the bell so you get notifications of these. There are several links. One link is to our 4-week basic training course, which are these two books. This is for people who don't have access to the internet. This is for people who do. This has transcripts in it, and you'll see it is a pretty dense book. Pretty dense read. It's a 4-week basic training course, which is also online. We have a link to the motivational video that I use to do this. Always great videos. We have a link to the TED Talk that goes along with our basic training course. So today's TED Talk-ish type thing is Steve Jobs' graduation speech at Stanford. We'll do that one twice a month. Also, we have a link to a lot of stuff that we do, that we provide our members: housing, clothing, food, hygiene, transportation, skills training, foundational employment, career planning. And also we have the transcript of Seth Godin's daily blog post. And Seth Godin's, we have a sign up there, which I'll move back here so we can see. It says, "Stop chasing shortcuts," along with Jordan Peterson's life is suffering work to reduce it. Right you are. Okay, please make sure you have a pen and paper handy so that you do not miss, you don't forget the stuff. Doesn't help to listen to it and feel, yeah, that was good, that was inspiring, and not write it down, because you won't remember tomorrow. But if you write it down, what happens? Well, every time you see it, say it, hear it, read it, write it, you make another copy in your brain. That is a good technique on how to get the stuff from your working memory into long-term memory, into routines, into habits, unconscious behavior. And consider these podcasts, we consider these podcasts to be breadcrumbs along the way of getting from point A to point B. Little breadcrumbs, bleep, 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 easy to follow. Today, and the format we use is, it's simple. Success getting from point A to point B is simple. Today, it's simple. You just have to earn it. Nobody's going to give you anything for nothing. You have to earn it. We pay for what we get, and we get what we pay for, right? Excellent. So that's that. So we have our little overview. It's simple. Then I talk about things I got out of today's video that I think should be important things to spur you, spark you, nudge you, prod you, poke you into listening to today's video. And we'll talk about our TED Talk, and then we read Seth Godin's thing, and then we move on to our Navy SEAL maxim. Maxim is a moral rule. Okay, so it's simple. Here where we are, let's see. So a little bit early. Nobody's with us this morning. If you do join, oh, somebody's there. Could be Diana. Okay, nobody's going to give you something for you haven't earned. Suicide, if you're thinking about committing suicide, that's good, except you're looking at it the wrong way. This is your ego suicide. Suicide to your old self-identity. Good. Thank you, Jeannie, for the Starbucks coffee, French roast, and thank you to our great benefactor, Mark Rowland, for the coconut oil. Okay, growth comes when you get knocked down. All right. Plants grow stronger when they have to overcome a little bit of adversity, like wind, like weather. Growth comes when you get knocked down. Jordan Peterson says, confront danger, the unknown, and malevolence. Confront them, don't run from them. Run to the danger, not from the danger. Don't duck change. Don't avoid change. Don't avoid changing who you are. Okay, so cool. That's that. Now where are we? We are now on our TED Talk. Okay, so the last couple of days we've had Viktor Frankl as our inspiration as we finish week number 1, which is the introduction and overview. So in our introduction and overview to what we do, this is the first week of a 4-week program. Introduction and overview is to get you to understand where are we going. We like to use the analogy of a car over a 4-week process. So the first week is what are we trying to do? Well, we're trying to get to Successville. How do we get to Successville? Golly gee, I don't know. Oh, I know. I have a lot of ideas. All right, maybe you do, but here in our course, we're going to teach you a surefire way to get to Successville, from point A to point B. That's the first week. Second week is learning how the car works and then learning how to drive the car. So this is a neuroscience approach, not a psychology approach. A psychology approach would be, we're going to get you the best driving instructor, and he's going to teach you how to drive a car. And you should be a good car driver. However, a neuroscience approach would start from the position of, this is what a car is, this is how it works. Once you know how a car works, then we're going to teach you how to drive the car. But we're not going to teach you how to drive a car until you know what a car is and how it works. And the reason is, if something goes wrong, you have a better idea of what to do to fix it. Where people with the psychology approach, they're either going to keep driving the car, hoping it's going to fix itself, or figure, I'm just going to call somebody to fix it for me, which are not bad strategies. However, they're not necessarily the best strategy. So if you know how a car works and you're driving along, all of a sudden you hear clink, clink, clink. Maybe you know the difference between clink, clink, clink and clink, clink, clunk, or clink, clunk, clink. And one of them you might decide, oh, I need to pull over right away. That's a flat tire. If I keep driving with a flat tire, pretty soon I'm going to have no tire, then I'm going to have no rim, and then it's going to be all bad. Or if I stop right now, I change the tire, or I call somebody to help me change the tire. That's good. So our week 2 is, how does a car work? Not literally, figuratively. How does the car work? How does our brain work? How does our brain work? down to a cellular level. So we'll get down to neurotransmitters, neurons, neurotransmitters, and other parts of the brain. How does our brain work? And if we know how our brain works, then we know how to dial in our feelings, thoughts, beliefs, behavior, and influence the outcome, and use that to reinforce our beliefs. Build stronger beliefs, and then we will also build good habits, get rid of bad habits, so we can operate on cruise control and let our non-conscious brain drive the car, as our conscious brain is doing all of the things that we do when we're driving a car, like eating, talking to somebody, singing a song on the radio, answering texts. We do all of this stuff consciously as we're driving unconsciously. And our reticular activation system is following certain rules, like if the car in front of me puts on its red lights, bam, I come back to conscious driving and I know what to do. So that's how it works. So that's week 2. How does the brain work, and how can we dial in who we need to be? Week 3 is now, to get to Successful, I need to have people with me. I can't get there on my own. The trip is too hard, too long, too hard. I've said that twice. The trip is too long and too hard. I can't get there on my own. Or it's approximately 1 million times easier to do it if I have help, because there's just too many things that could go wrong. So I need to get people in the car, and I need to get the right people in the car. Because if I get the wrong people in the car, they might divert us from Successful to go somewhere else, like non-Successful. If I get the wrong people in the car, I might get them out of the car. Hey, we're stopping to get something at 7-Eleven. Why don't you go in and get us the Cokes? I'm going to get the gas. Drive away. So we got to make sure we get people in the car, and they are the right people, not the left people, not the wrong people. We have to get the right people in the car. Next, we must, and then finally, that's week 3. How do you get the right people in the car? And then week number 4 is don't crash the car, because you won't get to Successful if you crash the car, or it's going to take you a lot longer to get there. You'll probably lose the people in the car voluntarily or involuntarily. They won't be with you, and you won't get to Successful. So you got to not crash the car. That's week 4. Leadership. Week 3 is about how do you get people, how do you form tribes. I guess that's it. And week 2 is how does the brain work? So that's what we do. This is the end of week 1, and it is with Steve Jobs' famous graduation speech at Stanford University, which, if you look at the people in the crowd, this is when he was making his comeback. He wasn't back. He was making his comeback, and a lot of people in the crowd are like, oh, okay, it's Steve Jobs. When is this graduation going to end? Would be much different than if he was at the end of his life, came back. Okay, so that is our talk about our TED Talk. Next, Seth Godin. Okay, what is Seth's wisdom today? Seth's overall heading is people like us do things like this. All right, but today's topic is I'm not that smart, but it's more like saying I'm not that smart, or no, I'm not that smart. Someone said that to me the other day, and it was heartbreaking. Someone said to Seth the other day, I'm not that smart. And it was heartbreaking, meaning disappointment. The number of tasks in our culture that require someone who was born with off-the-charts talent is small indeed. Meaning there's not a lot of things that people can say, I'm not that smart. I can't learn to do it. I can't practice doing it. There's not that many things like that. Just about everything else we need people to do is the result of effort, practice, and care. It's true that variations of that work are easier for some folks, but no one finds all of it easygoing. The correct thing to say, so instead of saying, I'm not that smart, the correct thing to say is, I don't care that much. I don't care enough to do the reading, to fail along the way, to show up, to make a promise, to learn as I go, to confront failure, to get better at the work. It's easier just to pull the ripcord and not experience the excitement of the adventure. Not experience the adventure. Just bail out. I'm not that smart, which means I don't care that much. All that might be true. That I don't care enough to do the reading, to fail along the way, to show up, to make a promise, to learn as I go, to confront failure, to get better at the work. I don't care that much. All of that might be true, but you're almost certainly smart enough. Okay, so you can say those things, but don't say you're not smart enough. Just say, I don't want to commit the time to do it. Just say that. Okay, thank you, Seth Godin. And here we are at 1625. We are now at our Navy SEAL Maxim. Our rendition of it is yesterday was the only easy day. So we have it broken down into, okay, yesterday was the only easy day. Okay, how do I make yesterday the only easy day? Well, here's 3 ideas. 1, get comfortable being uncomfortable. When you find yourself uncomfortable, lean in. Don't run from it. Lean in. Because certainly, if you're comfortable, if you're doing things that are uncomfortable, it's not going to be as easy as it was yesterday. Boom. 2, don't compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday. So what does that mean? Well, don't say, well, yesterday was easier than today because I worked harder than him. No. So how did you do yesterday compared to you today? Have a goal. If you're striving towards that goal, you're doing something that you didn't do yesterday, right? It's a new thing. And be samurai. Be samurai. Try to do things perfectly given the time and resources. Perfectly given the time and resources. If you're doing something, focus, do it to the best of your ability. Now, some people ask, well, how do I get comfortable being uncomfortable? Well, there's 3 ways to do that. 1 is to embrace the suck. Acknowledge it sucks and embrace it. God, there's a billion people that would love to be doing what I'm doing right now. 2, choose the hard path. Have humility. Work hard. Take ownership. Take responsibility. Work with discipline, meaning you just keep doing it day after day. You don't wonder, should I get out of bed now? Should I go work out? Should I do this? Should I make my bed? No, just have discipline. Just do it. And sacrifice for others. Sacrifice your time to help other people get better. And accept the struggle. It's not easy. Accept it. Okay, and so with that in mind, I'm going to have one more sip of coffee. It's probably Charlene out there. Can I say and cut? Charlene, can I say and cut? Okay, well, I'm imagining it's Charlene, and she says and cut. And what? And cut.